It started with a single moment on stage that even the judges didn't expect. From the instant Angelica Hale opened her mouth during her AGT audition, the entire judges panel shifted in their seats, not out of politeness, but out of genuine shock. As a reporter who has watched countless auditions, it was obvious this wasn't a typical child prodigy moment. It was a room-shaking, judge-disarming breakthrough. Simon Cowell's face softened faster than a chocolate bar left on a dashboard, which is already headline-worthy considering his reputation for stone-level expressions. Mel B leaned forward like she just discovered buried treasure, and Howie Mandel practically declared her the one to beat. What viewers didn't know was that this instant set the tone for the unusually strong bond that would form between Angelica and the judges. They didn't just respect her talent, they admired her resilience. Her survival story hit them personally, and the emotional charge in the room created a connection deeper than standard TV judging. Even Heidi Klum, typically cheerful and balanced, looked like she wanted to adopt her on the spot. That first impression was so powerful that crew members backstage whispered that Angelica had melted the panel quicker than a hairdryer on full blast. But this was only the beginning of a relationship that would grow far beyond what the cameras captured. What happened behind the scenes told a very different story. While viewers at home only saw a polished performance and a panel of judges smiling warmly, backstage interactions revealed a deeper connection unfolding between Angelica Hale and the AGT team. As a reporter, I've spoken to production assistants who recalled how judges often went out of their way to check on Angelica, something they rarely did for older contestants. Mel B, known for her tough love approach, became surprisingly protective of the tiny powerhouse, often giving her pep talks before she stepped on stage. Heidi Klum was equally warm, joking with Angelica and even sneaking her small confidence boosts between commercial breaks. Meanwhile, Howie Mandel offered advice about handling pressure, which he usually saved for finalists with more experience. Even Simon, Mr. I don't do hugs, was spotted offering encouraging nods and the occasional smile, which, to be frank, should have been archived in a museum as rare artifacts. Crew members laughed that Angelica had unlocked the friendly version of Simon, something they didn't even know existed. These behind-the-scenes moments showed that their connection was more personal than public, setting the stage for speculation that their relationship extended far past typical judge-contestant interactions. And trust me, this was only the beginning. Some fans saw kindness, others swore something else was happening. As Angelica progressed through AGT, social media lit up with arguments over whether the judges were showing her too much affection. Some supporters said she deserved every bit of praise. Her voice and survival story were extraordinary. But others insisted the judges' reactions hinted at favoritism. Talk shows, comment sections, and fan forums ignited with theories, with some viewers claiming she was receiving more screen time, more emotional storytelling, and more supportive feedback than other acts. As a journalist reviewing episode archives, I can confirm she was highlighted, but that wasn't unusual for a standout performer. Contestants with massive fan engagement often get more editorial emphasis. But viewers kept pointing to Simon's unusually soft critiques and Mel B's proud anti-energy as proof that something special was happening. At one point, a meme went viral joking that Simon gave Angelica more compliments than he's given oxygen, which, considering his reputation, is hilariously accurate. Whether it was favoritism or simply admiration for her talent, the online conversation exploded into one of the biggest debates of her season. But the truth behind the judges' behavior was more complex than fans realized. Praise lifted her up, but it also pushed her to her limits. Being adored by the judges sounds like every contestant's dream, but Angelica's situation was different. Their high expectations created an invisible pressure that only a few observers noticed. Angelica wasn't just performing for a shot at the finals, she was performing to maintain the emotional connection the judges had formed with her. As a reporter following her journey, I noticed how each new round carried higher stakes. Simon's praise wasn't casual. He implied she was meant to reach the finals. Mel B's emotional comments added weight, and Howie's admiration elevated her into a category of her own. Fans began expecting every performance to be a miracle-level event. Even crew members admitted Angelica had more pressure than most adult contestants. And when you're 10 years old and trying to meet expectations from millions of viewers and 4 celebrity judges, the pressure doesn't just sit on your shoulders, it dances there. One staffer joked, "Angelica carried the weight of the show better than my back carries groceries." What the public didn't realize was that support from the judges came with a heavy emotional tax, shaping both her confidence and her fear of disappointing the people who believed in her. Most contestants disappear after the finale, but Angelica wasn't one of them. Something unusual happened as Angelica transitioned out of AGT. The judges continued supporting her publicly in interviews, social media posts, and appearances. As a reporter monitoring the AGT alumni scene, I found it remarkable how often Angelica's name resurfaced. Simon mentioned her multiple times when discussing the most iconic AGT contestants ever. Heidi frequently liked posts involving her, and Mel B referenced Angelica during charity events and interviews as an example of the power of resilience. This type of long-term support is rare in the talent show world, where judges often move on quickly to new seasons. But Angelica had clearly made a deep impression. Some insiders suggested the judges saw her as more than a contestant. She represented the heart of AGT: bravery, talent, and hope. A producer even joked that Angelica ruined the grading curve for future kid singers. Their continued praise wasn't just politeness. It showed a genuine admiration that survived well beyond the show's finale. But this ongoing connection also led to new rumors, and those rumors took on a life of their own. When the cameras stopped rolling, the theories started. With the judges publicly supporting Angelica even after the season ended, online speculation erupted. Fans wondered if Angelica had been secretly mentored, privately coached, or even protected by the judges. Some posts claimed Melanie Brown and Heidi Klum treated her like family. Others insisted Simon played a role in pushing producers to highlight her journey. As a reporter, I've spent years analyzing talent show dynamics, and these theories range from exaggerated speculation to harmless fan fiction. The truth? Judges often form genuine bonds with young contestants, especially those with powerful stories, and Angelica's journey naturally drew them in. But the internet loves drama, so the concept of a secret relationship spread quickly. One viral comment even joked, "Simon must have Angelica in his contacts labeled 'Don't Eliminate.'" While funny, this idea oversimplifies the complex emotional environment behind a show like AGT. Were the judges fond of Angelica? Absolutely. Was there a conspiracy? No. But the rumors added fuel to the fascination surrounding her. So why did the bond fade from public view? After AGT, fans noticed that Angelica appeared less frequently with the judges. The warm interactions, public comments, and backstage photos began to taper off. This shift sparked discussions online, with some fans believing something had gone wrong. But the truth is far simpler and far less dramatic. As a news reporter familiar with entertainment schedules, I can confirm that judges rarely maintain long-term contact with contestants. Not out of coldness, but because they move rapidly from season to season, project to project. Angelica was growing, reinventing her voice, focusing on her career, and stepping into new artistic directions. Meanwhile, the judges had multiple shows, tours, obligations, and families to manage. One production member joked, "These judges barely keep up with their own email inboxes, let alone every contestant." The fading public connection wasn't a sign of conflict. It was a natural transition as Angelica stepped into her next era. Their influence didn't fade, even when their presence did. While the public saw less interaction, the judges' impact on Angelica's career remained unmistakable. Their early encouragement shaped her confidence, stage presence, and artistic courage. Simon's sharp critiques pushed her to think like a professional earlier than most singers her age. Mel B's emotional support gave her the reassurance she needed during high-pressure performances. Howie's compliments helped validate her talent in front of millions. Even Heidi's bubbly enthusiasm helped soften the tension backstage. As a reporter analyzing her post-AGT performances, it's clear that Angelica carried these influences into her future artistry. Her control improved, her interpretation deepened, and her emotional delivery matured significantly. These weren't random improvements, they were the lasting fingerprints of judges who genuinely believed in her. Their mentorship didn't disappear, it simply worked behind the scenes as Angelica took control of her own career. Years later, their opinions finally came to light. In interviews spanning several years after her season, each AGT judge spoke highly, sometimes unexpectedly highly, of Angelica Hale. Simon Cowell ranked her among the most memorable contestants in the history of the franchise. Mel B emphasized her emotional strength. Heidi called her a star in every sense, while Howie praised her determination and maturity. As a reporter reviewing these interviews, it's clear the judges weren't just being polite, they were genuinely impressed by her evolution. Their words reflected respect, admiration, and hope for her future. And for a show that has seen thousands of contestants, standing out in the judges' memories is no small achievement. It's rare, in fact. The judges didn't just remember her, they continued to admire her long after AGT ended. It wasn't a scandal, it was something much more meaningful. After sifting through years of footage, interviews, backstage accounts, and fan speculation, the truth becomes clear. Angelica Hale's relationship with the AGT judges was built on genuine admiration, emotional connection, and shared respect. Not favoritism, not conspiracy, and not hidden drama. The judges supported her because her story moved them and her talent impressed them. Their bond didn't fade, it simply evolved as Angelica matured and stepped into the next chapters of her life. And while fans love to imagine dramatic secrets and behind-the-scenes alliances, the real story is far more inspiring. Angelica earned every ounce of support she received. She left the judges' table not as a child contestant, but as an artist they believed in. And years later, that belief is still shaping her career.